This week's episode of The Grid is sponsored by MPix. Shoot today, upload tonight, we ship tomorrow. Photo, imagine more. On One Software, focused on photography. Adorama, more than a camera store. Tiffin, helping create the world's greatest images. Peach Pit Press, publishers of technology books, ebooks, and videos for creative people. Epson, exceed your vision. Expo Imaging, Rogue Flash Benders for speedlight enthusiasts. Nix Software, photography first. And B&H Photo, the professional source.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Grid. We are live. It's our blind critique episode, and we've got two fantastic men joining me, none of which are here on the set yet, but they'll be here soon. In their place...
What is going on?
Oh, sorry. No. Gosh, that's so wrong. Hey, I'm Scott Kelby. We have a very special in-studio guest today. We're very, very fortunate to have Joel Grimes here.
Well, thank you.
One of the coolest guys in the world, one of the coolest photographers in the world, one of the coolest trainers in the world. Put any adjective that's good in front of his name, that's him.
Right.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing excellent. First time on the set with you.
I know. Sorry about that. So, anyway, Joel's here working on some more classes for Kelby Training.
It's been great.
So, and you just knocked them out today, didn't you?
You know, it's they have a schedule here that you got to keep.
They do. They're tough. They're very, very tough. But we're very glad to have you on, especially for a show like this, where the whole idea behind the show is really to crush people's hopes and dreams. So, also we have with us, which is not really to crush their hopes and dreams, it's actually to help them. But by doing so, we crush their hopes and dreams. And we also have with me, kidding. Hey, can we show some of Joel's work? Do we have his site up?
Oh, here. I have it right here. Watch this. If you want to see some amazing work
You've
right
probably
here,
seen his work before, but we're just going to see it again real quick.
look at some stuff from here. I mean, it's just amazing.
Here we go.
I mean, you take a look at this, and it's wonderful. I mean, look at this. This is one of my favorite pictures right now. I love this.
I know, isn't that cool?
I love it.
I can do that. I can jump on there like that with the ball. I just don't.
I did it this morning.
Yeah,
I do that.
I pulled
too.
a hamstring just taking it.
Pulled a hammy.
I
can
love
hold a
that
ball.
one. That's a great shot.
I know, these are great.
But have you seen his fashion stuff?
Yes, I have, as a matter of fact.
Look at this.
I just saw some of it the other day, and I was like, I didn't realize you did so much fashion.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I love that shot. I think it's a great shot. Wonderful, just wonderful. I love how high key that is. I think that's so cool.
That's high key. I think that's what I saw.
So, but anyway, yeah, Joel's a phenomenal photographer, and if you want to learn how to do some of this stuff, this is kind of the stuff that you're going to be doing on Kelby Training, isn't it?
We did the high key. Look.
Did you?
We shot it and then did all the post on it.
I know what I'm watching when I'm driving.
I know. All right. Anyway, RC's here.
Hey everybody, what's going on? How are you?
So Matt's not here. Matt was out in San Diego. Matt was on the Hallmark Channel today. He was on Real TV, not fake TV like we're on here. He was on Real TV, and he was on a show on the Hallmark Channel. Mm-hmm. And it was called, I think, what's the show called?
It's like a House and Home, or wait,
yeah, like House and Home, Home and Garden, Happy Home, Puppies in Your Home. But anyway, he was on it live.
He was showing puppies.
And I feel so bad. It was on at 9 a.m. I completely blanked out and missed the show. I know, and he's like called me twice and like, oh, I missed both calls.
So what'd you
I'm
think?
Like, oh, thank goodness. You were great, dude. I love the way you did that whole thing with photography. I feel so bad, so I hope he's not watching. In the airport.
He is.
No, he's not.
He's got
Anyway, so he's not here, but we have some other people. Real quick, we got a lot to cover, so I want to get on with it. But all the way from France, feeling much better this week. It's all smiles and everything. It's Miss Nancy Massey.
Hola.
Oh, that's good. That was good. Didn't see that coming. How are you, Nancy?
I'm doing great. I feel much better. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, you were looking pretty peaked.
Yeah, I was a mess.
I've never seen Nancy come on the set and go, I'm too sick to go on. I'm like, damn it, Nancy, go sit down and do your thing. But we were able to find someone else to fill in.
Yeah, thank you, Pete, for filling in for me.
Yeah. Speaking of filling in, Brad Moore's sick now.
And Ron.
Yeah, Ron's sick?
Ron's
sick. So everybody's, Brad.
I showed up.
No, you're what's healing us.
Zero.
I feel like Typhoid Mary now.
Power.
No, so Pistol Packing Pete is sitting in for us. Hey, Pete, that point size is going to have to be
I think it's like
a little bit bigger.
Type.
He's putting your comments up in 4-point type.
See what those comments are.
They're that bad? Oh, they finally good?
Oh, I'd also like to just kind of take this moment real quick to just say thank you very much to Mark Steinis, who was the person who had Matt on, and the show is on. It's called Home and Family, and it's on the Hallmark Channel. So
Home and Family, the Hallmark Channel with Matt.
Thank you so
Who's
much,
on
Mark.
today, and
I'm sure he was great.
I'm sure it was great. All right. Hey, we also have a studio audience, which is very, very rare for us.
I got to tell you this story. This is really,
please
really
do.
cool. All right, so my buddy Kathy, you know, everybody knows Kathy.
Kathy Borowski?
Right?
She's the greatest.
So Kathy tells me that she wants to bring people over from the VA, from the Tampa VA.
Yeah.
A bunch of veterans. So check this out. So this is really cool. So veterans, you guys are actually watching, and for those of you abroad, thank you for all of your service. Obviously, this is the first thing we want to say. But also, I thought that the story was cool. They're going through therapy. They're doing some stuff, and they're self-producing a documentary. All of them. This entire group of people came down here, and they're making a documentary. And they wanted to come down here and see how we do all of this stuff. How do we record, how we do cameras, and we do all of that stuff.
That sounds like the same
And I'm
story
like,
Kathy told me.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really good.
Tell them. Tell
So,
the audience.
I'm telling you, you're bringing it to them.
We're bringing it to you.
But anyway, thank you guys
we're very
so
glad
much.
to have you guys here. Thank you for your service, and thanks for hanging out with us on the set.
So if you hear some hooting and hollering, it's them. It's not us.
And I got here so late today. I've been writing. I have all these writing assignments that I've not been doing, and they've started to stack up. So I ran in at the last minute. I was totally unprepared, but now we're semi-prepared. And we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to all stare at RC for a moment, and then we will pick up from there with blind critiques. We'll explain what those are and a whole lot more right after this break. Don't go away. Joel Grimes is here, RC's here, and Matt's not. Peace.
For me, it's hard to work with colors. It's for me hard to imagine to create my black and white images without using the Silver Effects Pro tool. These tools are very important to me, simple as that.
Hey folks, Moose here. A little birdie told me you want to learn wildlife photography. We're going to talk about everything from the basics. How do you find critters? What brings them in? I'm going to cram in more biology in this program than you could probably imagine. Because when you take that biology and combine it with that technology, the camera stuff, you come back with great images. What works for background, what works for exposure, the incredible, most important secret, the perch. We're going to talk about camera settings, we're going to talk about flash settings, we're going to talk about camera placement, we're going to talk about short lenses, long lenses. I'm going to help you incorporate it to wherever you live, be it in the middle of an island, in the mountains, the desert. Yep, I'm going to invite you to come to my home, my office, spend some time, learn some of my friends and neighbors how to take the best portrait of them possible. This is an exclusive you're going to see only on Kelby Training, so come along into the great jungle of my backyard.
My mother warned me about days like this. This is like gym class all over again.
And we're back. Hey, everybody. We always like to start coming back from the break by getting random people to come and stare at RC. Because they do that all day anyway, so it's really not a problem. Hey, we're going to get started. Just want to mention, we got a cool thing coming up on...
Tuesday.
Tuesday, we are doing...
7:30.
At 7:30 at night.
To 9.
To 9, thank you. We're doing a thing called the Napathon, and we've done this last year. It was hugely successful, and it is to introduce people to the National Association of Photoshop Professionals, which we all work there, except for Joel, but you speak at NAP's annual convention.
I do.
He does, so he is semi-related. And anyway, what we do is for 90 minutes, we just share a ton of tips. It's a Photoshop tip palooza. And we're also going to give away a NAP membership every single minute for 90 minutes. So every minute we'll be picking someone who's in the live chat to win a free NAP membership.
Now, here's one of the things that I want to kind of add to that is, guys, we're very happy to be able to do that. I think it's going to be a wonderful time. What we want all of you guys to do is to go and bring a friend. That is the
Bring
most
a friend.
important part of all of this.
Yeah.
Like, I tell people all the time, I'm like, are you a net member? Yeah. Are you friends with net members? They're like, well, yeah.
A couple hours.
Go get them. Those are the guys that we want
Yeah.
you to go get.
And that's what we're really doing this for. So if you're a NAP member, you're already on board, right? I mean, you're already a NAP member. But we would like to introduce other people who are not members to this. So come and join us. I mean, anybody can come. Of course, it's just going to be a free
Oh, we'll be talking about the thing, too.
Tip-a-palooza. And we're talking about the thing. We got a big thing to announce there, too.
Yeah,
so
we do.
It's big. Biggity, biggity, big. But anyway, it's next Tuesday, 7:30 to 9 o'clock.
If they want to
East
find
Coast
it,
time.
go to photoshopuser.com/webcast. That's going to be the place.
Yep.
The website might not be up now, but don't worry about it. We'll have plenty of time to talk to you guys about it. But bookmark it, photoshopuser.com/webcast. That's where it's going to be.
There we go. Let's go down to the blind critiques. So this is Joel's first blind critique.
It
And
is.
So what we do is we bring up an image, we all close our eyes. No. So here's what we do. So blind critiques are we've had people submit. So these people have asked us for critiques. We're not just normally going around the web and grabbing people.
Okay.
We don't know their names. And so we don't bring up their names unless they watermark their own images. Now, sometimes people will watermark their images, and then you're going to know who did it. Our job is to be honest. You can go to Facebook, you can go to Flickr, and people will line up to tell you. And you know what, Joel and I were talking about this right before we went on the air, and you were talking about how I'm on American Idol, right? That people come on there and someone told them.
They think they have a voice.
Yeah, they think they have a voice, and they sing, and they're stunned when the judges go. I'll remember, I was telling Joel on So You Think You Can Dance, this woman got on it, and she was just horrendous. I mean, you're watching at home. I'm not a professional dancer, but I can go, hey, you know, that's not good. I mean, it looked just horrendous. And when they were done, they said, well, how long have you been dancing? And she said, well, I've been taking lessons for 12 years. They literally told her, you need to go and get your money back. You don't know how to dance. You're not a dancer. You have no talent. And if they told you you had talent and you should be taking dance lessons, you are wrong. And they had to go, yeah, that's harsh, but there's a lawsuit there. I mean, it was that bad. You need to go back to your school and sue them. So we're not going to go that far. We're going to stop this.
Thank God.
No, but our job here is to try to show you, well, here's what you're doing right. Here's what you're doing wrong. Here's how to make it better. But we're just real straight with you, because since the whole rest of the world will lie, here's where you come for tough love.
All right.
Right, RC?
And you know what? It's essential. And then I think that's the part that's one of the reasons that we keep doing it over and over and over, is that we hope that all of you guys, by watching this stuff, you guys get some tips on some of those images that you see.
Even if they're not your images, you can go, oh, I never really thought about that. And you know what? It's so funny, because most of the people that get their stuff critiqued will contact us later on Twitter, on Facebook, and go, you know what, that changed everything. That was I read one yesterday where I got an email from saying that to a person that said it was a turning point in their career and how much better their photography is a year later. I think it's one of the best ways to learn. Let's start off with this image right here. If we can flip over to the computer, and let's see. And this is just awful. It's just terrible. No, I'm just kidding. I actually like this shot. I like that it's kind of moody. I love atmosphere in the shot, and there's smoke in there. Now, I don't know if this was smoke added later in Photoshop or smoke from the cigarette that's on top of the amp. I like it because I'm a Strat guy, and that's a Strat. I just kind of like it. There's a little movement. Look at the movement in his hand, right? And I love the post work, the toning on it. So I just kind of like it. I don't know if it's just me or... but I like it.
I probably would have I think it's a brilliant shot. I think it looks really, really good. Light looks nice. It's probably just a little too tilted for my taste.
Yeah, that was big in the 90s.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
No, that was kind of a thing in the 90s. You tilt your camera. Not that you can't do it today, but I always ask myself a question. Is the picture I'm taking now, could I have done it 10 years ago? And if I say yes, chances are I'm going in the wrong direction. That's because we're used of seeing these pictures over and over again for years, and now we want to move on. So I don't know about the tilt.
All right, I'm going to straighten it real quick, because that's one of the great things that we can do here. Let's straighten it and reevaluate it. So I'm in camera raw here. Ooh, it's so crooked, the straight crop's going to be like that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't get rid of too much of it.
Yeah.
I
It's just
wouldn't
over-tilted?
It's just over-tilted.
So what if we maybe tilted it more, just a slight tilt, so it's maybe like this.
That might be better.
A little bit, yeah. And you know what? And by tilting it, look what you did. You actually brought the focus a little bit more on the guitar, which
Yes,
is
right.
really what the subject is. What are you picking up? You're picking up the
It
guitar.
looks like an ad maybe for like a Fender or something.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, so all right, we're okay with this one.
But yeah, that was fine.
I like it. I mean, you can see there's atmosphere in the background that's giving you a sense of depth, which is good. The wide angle lens gives you a sense of depth. I love that because I'm a wide angle guy.
Yeah, you are.
You know, my thing would be that bolt that's in the front might be a little too close and it's drawing you away from the, you know, I don't know. I would have probably put that in the back if I was going to, my eye goes to it and then I'm kind of like going back and forth from the shoe to that.
No, I see what you're saying, yeah.
I guess, I mean, I think from an execution, I think it looks really, really good. I just get lost in the message of it, which is kind of weird. It's like, what's the relationship with the shoe to the bowl? Like, if it were two shoes, it would have been cool. If it would have been one, you know, like two shoes could tell you a story.
I think what happened was there was an explosion, and the guy was ejected, and he left in one boot.
Hey, I have a question. So, can the studio audience, can you see the images? All right.
Okay.
Can we flip a monitor for them, because this is going to be a very long show for you guys. They're all looking at us and like they're going, I wonder what they're talking about. I wonder. Well, I'll see if somebody, maybe Brandon says no. We can't flip any kind of monitor.
Can we set the studios here and watch that way?
Oh, how about if can't we just grab a laptop? The show's broadcast live, right? Can't we grab a laptop? There we go. Brandon put up the finger, which means...
He's like, we can do this.
So, okay. So,
all right, back to the picture.
Okay. All right. You know what my only thing with... I like the toning. I like the light. I love the smoke and all. But I got to tell you, it's not the most interesting subject. It's an old boot. You know what I mean? It's not like, man, did you see that shot of the old boot?
Yeah.
It's like, it's a still life of a boot. So, it's...
But it was made for walking.
It's executed. It's executed.
Yeah.
It's executed okay.
And so I would say the same thing for this one. This is I think it's technically well pulled off.
Yeah.
They shot it f/22. You can see a little starburst in the lights. I think the time when they shot it is nice. I think the lighting is nice. But at the end of the day, it's a boat at the dock.
Now, if it was for an annual report and for a company,
right. For
that's
a commercial,
one thing.
if it's a commercial shot, that would be a very usable commercial shot.
It reminded me a little of like the kind of work that David Tejada does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in that context, I think it would be okay.
Yes, but for on your wall, probably not.
I like this one. You know what I like about it? It looks a little surreal. Like the bottle itself looks a little like it's a Dali bottle. Right? It's kind of squirrely.
Can I tell you what bothers me about it?
Please.
It's from an HDR standpoint, this is what it looks like, obviously,
black
because
clouds?
of the foreground, the black clouds. I
Clouds.
always tell people all the time, I'm like, there's only really one time that you see black clouds, and that's the apocalypse. That's it. There's no other time.
Which we see about every week.
Where 12.
12. It's today. But a lot of the times it's like you don't want to see that. Anytime that you want to look at an image, what you want to do is you want to see dark gray is fine, black is not.
Black is, yeah. So this is overprocessed HDR.
Overprocessed.
How about
that I like a lot.
The reflection is perfect.
That actually
nice.
I like quite a bit. It looks very selenium. It's like a selenium type treatment, which I think is really, really cool.
I would probably crop just below those rocks up top.
Oh.
Would you?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Because your eye goes there and it doesn't need to go. So
I'm
there you
sorry.
go.
It's got this. We want normal crop on there. So let me just get rid of that. And you're saying crop like in like those.
Well, but leave it panorama though.
Okay.
Just those up top there, they're distracting.
Oh, okay.
Those up there.
Yeah.
All right. So what if we actually did instead a panorama type crop
2.39 by 1.
like this?
That's good.
Cinema.
I like that.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like well, you know what it would be for the cinema.
2/3
look.
top, 1/3 bottom.
Yeah, let's do 2.39 crop ratio.
All right, so those of you who don't necessarily know what you're doing while he sets that up, so Scott's sitting around one day and he's going, if we knock out some panels over here on the left in Lightroom and some panels over here on the right in Lightroom, and we kind of bring everything out, he's like, I can show my images in such a way where they look like it's
widescreen,
like a widescreen kind of format. And we're like, well, what ratio is that? What ratio is that? We're going back and forth, and we're like, 2.39 by 1. That's the image creation that we wanted to do.
Wow.
All right, so there's our first. That's our first set. Overall, this photographer, pretty good.
Yeah.
Good photographer.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Some really good ones.
That was by one photographer?
One photographer.
Oh.
Yeah,
very varied.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
That's one photographer.
Oh, that's good. I didn't realize that.
All right, let's look at the next photographer. Let's go through all the 5 images first, and then we'll go back, and we'll do it quicker this time. We spend that much time, we'll get through 3 people. So let's see: bird, bubbles, water, something, apocalypse, and city street.
How about we say the strongest and the weakest image too?
Okay.
Right? Weakest. Oh,
Strong.
Right.
I
Sorry.
think it's strongest.
Okay.
See the bottom?
Ooh.
See that bottom little dark spot coming across
This
there?
here?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Terrible.
content aware, fill that up.
Terrible. Yeah. Clean that up.
All right. Let's see if we can content aware fill it. Actually, you know what might work well? We'll try content aware fill. I was going to use the patch tool. So let's just pretend that wasn't there. Fill, we're going to use content aware. I know there's a shortcut for it. I wanted to show you the box. Let's see. And look at an extra bird leg. But that's okay. That's nothing wrong with an extra bird leg.
All we're looking for is the blue at this point.
Yeah, it takes your eye straight to the.
And I would also get rid of this little thing right here.
Yes.
So it's so many. It's interesting how many shots just have a distracting thing. Like what did we
Exactly.
see earlier? That the bolt was making your eye go between there, and clarity of message is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so other than that, I think it's all right.
Yeah, it does well.
Okay, so that was that one. Let's go back. Now, where were we looking in the bridge? All right, so
Love that shot.
Oh, I do too.
Love that shot.
now what is it? It drops on something, but what's on a piece of glass or something?
Yeah,
It's cool. What's on the beach? Dead something.
Yeah, something. I don't know what it is. It's the street.
Yeah, you know what it is about this shot? If you were there and you picked up a DSLR and you handed it to a kid walking by and said, "Take a shot of this street," it would look just like that.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, it's a shot.
So is that the weakest shot?
That's the weakest shot.
Definitely.
Okay.
This is wanting to be the weakest shot.
That's a
That's
great
cool.
shot.
Yeah.
You know what it is? This isn't a bad shot.
It's still. I don't think the background's quite soft enough.
Yeah, there's not enough separation. And you know what it is? The bird's not doing anything particularly interesting. It's not a super, super sharp shot. It's actually a little bit soft.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you know, when you see, and especially bird shots, it's got to be a really good bird shot. You know, it's like, if it's an eagle, you get away with some stuff because you go, oh my gosh, it's a bald eagle. But everything else is just kind of like, what's this, an egret?
Yeah, I think it's an egret. Says the guy from the city.
Hey, let's see, what's that? What's that? One of them egrets right there? All right, so
But can I just point out
you
something
can,
real quick
please.
before
Is
we,
egret,
before we do
egret
something?
shot? Yeah.
I find it interesting that, like, if you go back to the guy who shot that,
Yeah.
and this is something that you've said a lot when you talk about portfolios and stuff. The guy that shot that all of a sudden shows that, and it's like,
Who are you as a photographer?
There you go. The consistency's not there. Again, that's why I go and say, take a subject matter, repeat it over and over and over again. You become an expert in that subject matter. So if you want to do wildlife, do it. Do it. But then, you know, it's like throwing these other images in your portfolio, people are getting confused. What do you really do?
Yeah, you know what? I just saw a calendar recently. Beautiful wildlife images. And then you got to like the travel stuff and it was like, eh.
Yeah. Stick with what you do best.
Yeah, stick with what you do. All right, but overall, person's on the right track.
I think so.
I mean, exposure's
Yeah,
good. They've got
yeah,
some,
yeah.
but you're right. They're all over the place.
I
Like-
love the looking up one because that's just an angle a lot of people maybe miss, and it's there. Maybe a little too much
Bamboo
HDR,
forest, yeah.
but because I'm not a fan of super HD.
All right, I can't really. They've asked me to make the screen bigger. Unfortunately, I can't make the screen. The images are as big as I can get them. So this is mind control.
they're staring at a bubble.
Hey, that's in Cincinnati.
Could be.
I like that shot.
I do too.
Yeah, I think it's
very
pretty
No,
good.
no, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
I like it.
It's somewhere you wouldn't expect it to be. Aquarium.
Yeah. And then a JPEG.
That's JPEG. And the London Eye.
It's the launch pad of the airplane.
We'll start here.
If there was something in the bubble, I think it'd be okay. I have a really hard time with I have a really hard time with street photography in that in order for you to do street photography well, you have to catch something you have to catch something really interesting happening at a really interesting moment. Looking at a bubble may not qualify as a super interesting thing.
This is pretty.
That's great.
It is.
That's
I like that.
wonderful.
How did this photographer take that?
Day off. It was just they were going out and they're doing street, and that's not to say that it's not a bad shot. It's
Yeah.
just not.
You know what it is? There's a difference between a well executed shot, like the exposure's good, the framing's good, and a really interesting shot like this one. You know, you did a good job of capturing it, right? I mean, it's not a bad exposure or something, but at the end of the day, you're like, it's a jellyfish in the aquarium. If I went to the aquarium and took my phone and stuck it up against the glass, it would pretty much look like that.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that JPEG. Same thing here. If I was in London and I saw a plane going, and by the way, the flight path for the London Eye from Heathrow, I believe, is right by there. There's a plane flying by it every minute. You know, it's one of the busiest airports in the world. It's not like, how did you get that plane in the frame? Looks pretty much like that.
Okay.
So
it's okay.
It's okay.
But in the middle of all of that, okay, is that one shot.
Yeah, and I don't really know what to tell them to do to make it better, except for, and this is going to be a recurring theme. There is two things that we see a lot, is distracting things in the photo, and then not interesting subjects. You know, it's just like,
And
it's a tourist attraction in London.
who, I think I heard it somewhere with you and Jay Maisel, where I think that the biggest problem that people have with photography in general is that people will go out and they'll take a picture and they'll go out and they'll go, I'm gonna go do something. And because you have a camera and because you set yourself out to go do something, doesn't necessarily mean that when you come home, you have something. That's not,
Jay said that.
There's totally, it's totally okay. And I think that knowing when to shoot is good, but the when not to shoot. It's like being completely okay with yourself to coming back from an extra. There's times that I get in my car, I go out, I grab my camera, I get in, I get on the road, and I'll be out there for 2 hours. And when I come back, I'm like, I got nothing, and that's fine. And sometimes I think people, it's an unrealistic expectation. Yeah. Sometimes where people go, I have to come back with something. I believe that also gets translated into, let me show somebody what I did. And it's like, if you don't have anything interesting to say, you don't have to say it.
Mm.
The other thing, too, is you have to be a good student of history. And if you're going to do street photography, you got to look at Henry Carter-Bresson, Robert Frank, some of the greatest street photographers that have ever been around, and see what made them great, what moments they were capturing that, just come off the page, tell a story in one frame. And so that's why I couldn't do street photography. I mean, it's just, I don't really get it. It's hard for me to do that. Mm-hmm. But it's hard. Mm-hmm. I think it's actually probably harder than anything I could try to do.
And I think people do it because it's free. You don't have to have lighting.
There you go.
Just walk out the door and do it, but it is very hard. All right, do you want to see a kick-butt street photographer and one of the most underrated photographers today?
I know where you're going.
Jay Maisel looked right at me and said, that guy's got it. He's got it. Dan Steinhardt.
Yep.
Dan Steinhardt. If there was no Jay Maisel, he'd be Jay Maisel. Dan he just launched a brand new. And I want to make sure I spell it right. Dan, Steinhardt.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up.
RC's gonna pull it up. He's got some of the most captivating, interesting, and he does it between meetings. He does all of his shooting, like if he goes to a meeting, because he works for Epson. He'll go to a meeting.
Wow.
And he'll shoot like on the 2 hours before he has to leave the airport.
Amazing.
I can't believe the stuff that he gets.
Yeah.
So go to his portfolio, go to one of the colors and shapes or something.
I remember I worked with him on a website, and I was like, dude, you got to show.
Select like series 1.
Oh yeah, it's doing it.
Okay.
But we were looking at his stuff, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm more than happy. I was like, if anybody deserves a website or needs to have a website, you need to have a website.
Yep.
And he's like, oh yeah, I'll share with you the best 1,400 images, and I'm like,
what? Oh, what?
I'm like, he's just got phenomenal work.
Hey, look, Charles Putnam just wrote. Oh no, I'm sorry, Charlize Putnam. Excuse me, I looked at it real quick. No, Dan, Charles. Is it Charles?
Okay, Charles Putnam. Yeah, Charles Putnam.
Okay, I'm sorry, Charles E. Putnam. It does look like Charlize. Okay, Charles E. Putnam says Dano rocks. Went to junior high and high school with him.
But while this loads,
and it's not the fastest loading website, perhaps. Dano.
Well, I think it's where we are right now. But while this loads, I think that that's the thing. I think that people need to understand that going out, photography is a lot like fishing in that you can go out and come back, and the experience is really, really cool. And if you get a fish, then that's great. But
if you don't get a fish, then your family starves.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, we're running out of time. We need to get. We got a lot more to go. All right. And Joel, I'm going to let you take this one because it's very hard. Here we go.
Thank you.
So here we go. I'll run through all 5. 1.
Okay.
2. 3. 4. 5. I'm just going to tell you, Joel, since this is your first time, the monitor that you see there,
A little bit lag.
We'll do that.
It goes out just whenever.
Okay.
So you can't count on it. But if that doesn't work, you can look over here.
Well,
But
that one's the strongest out of all.
that
of them.
is absolutely far away the strongest.
And the question is, do you want to have a picture look like you get it at Sears?
Right.
Is that what you're after?
No.
No, of course not. So, where's the going beyond? I don't know. That's pretty bad.
That's bad.
And the other thing is you've got to be really careful when you're photographing someone on that angle that back of the arm doesn't get exaggerated.
Right.
No woman likes to have the back of their arm look a little bit bigger than it really is. Mm-hmm. So,
and that's a posing thing. That's not necessarily.
Yeah, it's more a posing thing.
That's a
right.
posing thing, not a thing.
And I think a lot of these are posing issues. Mm-hmm. Not so much lighting. Lighting's not too bad on some of them.
It's kind of nice
That's
there.
not bad. Yeah, that's probably second.
But this
third.
is the part that I think. Is cool. If you took this picture and you put it next to that picture, and you just showed those two, you'd be like, "Who's that guy?"
Yeah,
That's pretty
there's
good.
yeah.
But in the middle of all of that stuff,
Right.
he's got
Yes,
that,
yeah,
and staircase.
And staircase.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm a fan of wide angle, but not like that.
Yeah. Okay, so
that's.
that,
I love the post-processing
Yes.
on this, though.
right.
This is really nice.
that actually looks like a film shot, doesn't it?
It does, kind of.
Has a bit of a film noise to it, or grain, if you will. All right, let's see what we have. Okay.
Nice portrait. Love that.
Okay. I want to know where that is.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I like that place.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot.
The photo's okay, but I like the play. That's okay. You know what it is? Here you have, I think you're a portrait artist, and then this.
Boom. Yes.
And then this.
Yeah. So.
All right, let's start here.
If you were doing this for that person as almost kind of like as an executive portrait or a corporate portrait, I think it's okay. It's not the strongest shot, but I mean, it executes very well. The idea is definitely there. I mean, if this were used for a website or, something showcasing the guy, I think it's okay. It's not. I've seen worse. I mean, it looks really good.
Then you have this.
The execution on this is brilliant.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's just totally lit by that light or mostly lit by that light.
Well, it's bouncing back off the book, too.
Yeah.
That's causing some pretty cool stuff.
That's a very cute shot.
Yeah.
Cute subject, cute. That's good.
Again, if you look at all these images of good, music, rock,
Yeah.
this is sort of just not there. And then that's just not there either.
Not there.
And again, that's the interesting, like you say, place, which helps. Mm-hmm. I love the white blowout look on it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, that bottom is just,
this down here?
Yeah, that's really.
Yeah, the composition, I think, is a little messed up here.
Definitely go
All
horizontal.
right, so this person needs a little bit of work. They do have one good shot.
They do.
But unfortunately, we're looking at 5.
Yeah.
So, and none of the other ones are they're not horrible. They're not like, American Idol sell your stuff kind of thing. All right, here we go. Clouds, those are hard to photograph. You have to point the camera upward. Okay.
I like clouds. They, again, where's your horizon? Maybe you need it. It's almost there. looks like.
But let me ask you a question. If you're driving home and you look up and you see that in the sky and you took your cell phone, how would the shot be different?
Not much.
It wouldn't be really. So that's the unfortunate thing is, I imagine this wasn't taken with a cell phone. I imagine it was taken with someone's expensive DSLR. It's a cool plane, shot in as ugly angle as I've ever seen that plane.
Yep. Got potential. I love waves. It's, but it's a little too tight for me. I don't know.
Well, actually, I should probably zoom this out. I was trying to zoom in and make him bigger on screen because we're struggling with this. And I'm trying to figure out how RC, what the gesture that we have to zoom in and zoom out on. Was it? I did some gesture earlier that zoomed me. Oh, great, I just launched something. Oh. I'll just go back out to Adobe Audition. So good launch there. And this is nothing.
And it sounds.
This is nothing.
It's gonna sound horrible, but it's almost kind of like just a series of unremarkable pictures.
Yeah.
I mean they're okay.
Yeah, they're okay.
They're snapshots. They're not necessarily pictures.
They're snapshots.
It's like it's not a great. It's a good set of clouds, but
so you said nah to several photos, but say why. I think we're saying why, right? Aren't every photo we're saying what's wrong with this one is, it's what's wrong with this one? It looks like any shot you would take. There's Joel mentioned there's not a horizon line in it. They're not particularly fantastic crowds. They're not prentice. It's just kind of you looked up at the sky and took a shot when there was some pretty clouds. I don't even know where to look.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll be more specific. Go look at Moose Peterson's aviation.
Exactly.
Anything. Go look at any shot Moose has taken, then look at this one. You'll go, oh.
It goes back to this. If you want to shoot aviation, look at the best photographers out there that are shooting aviation and look at what they do and why it works, and then go out and try to at least simulate that look to some degree. You're going to put your own personal, approach to it, but I don't know. It's
so it's shot in horrible light.
It's probably at an air show.
Yeah, probably at an air show.
Yeah,
and it's landing gear never makes a plane look pretty.
Mm-mm.
So that hurts right there, and it's in very uninteresting light, and it's not doing anything interesting. You know what I mean? If there's not a contrail coming out the back,
it's frozen in time.
It's frozen in space. It's just so that's. I think RC is going to grab a picture from Moose and just show like whatever's on his blog today, right?
So and when you look at pictures, right? So
beautiful.
Yeah. See.
And he's got hundreds of them.
Yeah, he's got hundreds of them. And it's very rare to see like a Japanese Zero flying with a.
Look at the difference between the light on that and the light of that other jet.
Yeah.
It's not late light here. Here it's nice, warm, late light.
Yeah, and an interesting background, not just solid blue, nothing.
Exactly.
Now, what I would say to this, just if we wanted to offer a takeaway, I think we'll probably move to the next set if you want. But the takeaway on this would be, if you like whoever shot this, it would seem that you like airplane photography. What I would do is focus on contacting an association, contacting airport, contacting the ISAP, the International Society for Aviation Photography. Organize and try to wrangle a shoot of a plane from an angle that's actually going to make it look good. Because it's very easy for people to turn around and go, oh, well, that's Moose Peterson, or oh, well, that's so-and-so.
Well, Moose did what it was required to get that shot.
I've seen Moose hustle and talk to people and organize and do this and do that. Like, I shoot in New York City all the time. I love getting on really, really high buildings in New York City.
He busts his butt to do it.
I'm deathly afraid of heights, but I will spend months talking to people and trying to network and trying to do this and emailing and dropping by and showing pictures and doing. They don't know who I am. They just show. I show up.
Hey, you know what? And when you shoot your aviation shots, do it like you would anything else. Moose shoots these in good light. Why can't you shoot them in good light?
That's right.
Like when there was an air show in town, the last time there was an air show in town, I was there at 4:45 in the morning. So when the sun came up, I was already on location with my tripod set up waiting for it to come up. I wasn't the only photographer out there, but this guy wasn't there. So that's the thing is, and I think what RC's trying to say is, you can't just make the excuse, well, I was just, I took this and I didn't have a good angle. If that's the case, don't show it to anybody until you can go and do what RC does.
Or Moose does.
Or what Moose does is shoot these things in the best possible light at the best possible time so you can really get a good shot. But overall, it's not, you know what it is? None of this stuff is particularly interesting. Where does a sunset like that occur? About every day all over the world on any body of water. It's not like, wow, you just were in the right place at the right time. You're at the place that anybody could be. Literally, if I opened a brand new Canon Rebel and handed it to my daughter at sunset and said, honey, point that way, she's 7 years old, she'd have got that shot. And if that's what, because today's camera, they do the exposure pretty well. It's not like today's camera's like, whoa, man, I'm just saying, this is, so Jock said, with a big budget, I could get aviation shots too. You do need a budget to get what Moose just did. Mm-hmm. But Moose has 1,000 shots of a plane sitting on an empty runway.
And he works his way up.
Right. But some of his shots, some of Moose's very favorite shots of Moose's are taking at an air show, like the Reno Air Races or something, that is a plane early on the runway with a mountain range in the background. They're stunning, and they didn't cost him anything. So you can't say, well, I don't have the money to get, good aviation shots. Moose spends zero on getting up early. He has to have an alarm. But outside of that, so yeah, I mean, look at a lot of his shots. Look at there, the Clipper, and some of these that are shot, look at that one, the gorgeous Bearcat, that's on the ground. So Jock, there you go.
And the owners of these planes love photographs.
They love to have people take their
That's right.
photos
You
of
get to
their
know
plane.
the owners,
Yeah.
you get your pictures.
Right.
Yeah, so you can't use that get out of jail free card. I don't have the money to get a good airplane shot. Creepy. But
Self-portrait.
cool. But it's cool.
Yeah. I like.
I don't like the type, but I like the rest of it. And it's going a little downhill.
And there it went.
Yeah.
And there it went.
Exactly.
All right, so you started off so good. That's really cool, creepy, but
Fine arty, kind of.
fine arty, kind of good post-processing. And this is still kind of cool. I kind of like it. It's kind of dark. And then, you know what? One thing, this is going to say, and I'm teaching a class on this at Photoshop World. I'm teaching a class on how type design for photographers. Because you can kill your image like you did here by using type wrong.
Well, and the other thing too is it's a really cool treatment, but the lighting is really bad on that one.
Yeah.
See that harsh kind of light across the face there?
Yeah, looks like I took this in the afternoon.
Exactly.
Right.
You just snapped it and then put this great treatment on it.
Yeah.
Type problem.
There's the type problem, and this shot should be over here. So, and this is just a basic design rule, but you would not have the person facing off the page like that. This person would have been over here, and I would have flipped him to be in this corner. I would have actually done a flip vertical, or excuse me, I'm flip horizontal. So you want all the elements pulling you into the photo, not chasing you out.
Plus, I think there's might be just one too many.
Too much.
Yeah, one too many images.
Yeah.
Having the two guys at the bottom and then one image in the background kind of, would work. Not.
Yeah. And you've got the flag, and you've got the texture, and you've got them, and you've got him, and you've got him, and see, it's just a little too much. And then here, the type just destroys this, and I'm not sure that the.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's supposed to be funny.
Hey, oh.
I mean, and it looks like it's supposed to be funny,
But it doesn't
right?
look real.
But it doesn't look real.
Go look at one of Cory Barker's posters.
There you
It
go.
looks like it came from a movie. I mean, you think this has like movie-esque, but a real theater would not have released that look.
No.
But when Cory does it, you go, wow, that's all right. But not a bad photographer, not bad. I mean, good post-processing skill. Need to hone it a little bit. Here we go. Anything tastes better dipped in chocolate. That's cute. 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 Now, Joel?
Well, I don't know what to say here. I mean, we need to work on our lighting skills. The other girl that had the reflection?
Yeah.
It worked. This doesn't work.
No. That one? Yeah.
and that looks like something you would put in your album.
Yeah, it's your family album.
And the person standing behind there, what's that? That's like someone, who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not a good visual.
Yeah, and the one thing that I would say is when people photograph people, understand the relationship of elements in this scene absolutely makes sense. Like who those two are compared to where those other people are. Like it matters, and it's one of those things where it's like if you're not there to tell that story, that could be an axe murderer up there. That could be their parent telling them
It's
time
most
to
likely an axe murderer.
But like what happens is like within that, if you're not there to tell that story, there you go.
Take it out. Yeah.
If the element doesn't work for that one scene, it's not. It doesn't belong there.
Look, I had my freshman, sophomore year of college, I had a friend of mine, Carrick James, who we become great friends. But we were looking at images, and he kept telling me, Joel, you're not watching your corners. And it kind of pissed me off because, I thought I had some great images, but I had things creeping into my frames, little things like a branch, a dead branch or whatever.
Dead branch is a killer, right?
And I wasn't watching my corners. What I've been for 35 years, what do you think I've been doing? Watching my corners. So that's what I would say is keep an eye on what's coming in on the sides and the corners of your frames, and it's going to make a big difference.
You know what I get yelled at all the time about? Headroom. All the time.
RC shoots. You don't do it as much as you used to. RC used to shoot everything as though it was going to be the cover of a magazine.
Yeah.
He left the room for the nameplate above everybody's head. It was like here was their head, and when it should stop here, he would go and leave this.
Well, look
big
at my
gap.
images. I crop people's heads.
Do you?
I do a lot,
Sure.
and I don't know why, but I do. But because it sucks you into them.
It does.
Yeah, and see, and that was the thing. Like when we started shooting, I would sit there, and I'm comfortable with my work. I'm happy with I can shoot, and I'm shooting, and Scott sees some of the stuff, and he's like, "What are you designing magazines for me? What do you got? What's going on here?" He's like, "What is this? You're gonna put type up here at the top?"
You
I was
don't
like,
do it very much anymore.
And of course not.
Yeah, you watch it.
Hey, we've seen this guy before. He was on the last show. We're going to zip past him.
Okay, but that's the thing. Like, did I want to hear that at one point? I'd be like, "Hey, you know what? Stop doing it." And I was just like, "I hate you, Scott Kelby."
But you know what he tried to do though? He did try to one little defense. He goes and he shows me some McNally shot that has some headroom, and I go, "Yeah, but his shot's actually going to be on the cover of a magazine."
Which was worse. And then I was just like, "This sucks."
Hey, we eat our young. What can I say? Here we go. Duck, goose.
I actually kind of like it.
I know, I kind of like it too, and I can't even explain why. And
Double rainbow.
Double rainbow.
What does it mean?
What happened? Hey, dark black clouds. Okay.
I like that.
That's all right.
I wish the corners. I wish the corners weren't as. That's a little vignette on too much.
That's black in the middle of the day in the corners.
But I like. Then they do this.
Okay, but yeah, and you know what else is here? There's not enough in focus for this panning effect to work. So this is a tried and true effect. You get the sense of motion, but some of it has to be tack sharp.
Right.
And you can kind of read this, but it's still a little. This is the only place you could hope for it to be sharp, and it's not, except for that part of the handlebar.
But it's a good attempt. I think that's a hard shot to pull off.
It is.
And I've done other than you're right, the sharpness, and that's all a matter of getting the right shutter speed and being able to pan correctly. And that takes practice.
It does. It really does.
But here's the thing. Just to kind of take it away from all of this, and I have two very good photographers here, celebrated photographers. When you take a look at a picture and you shoot it, and you look at the back of the camera, or when you look at the computer, and you turn around and you go, it's out of focus. What do? It's gone.
Delete.
It's gone. And I think that's the difference with all of it. We try so hard for the lemonade shot. We try so hard with, let me do this and see if somebody will notice it.
Can I slide this one by the goalie?
Can you slide it by? And what happens is, it just puts you in a position where somebody looks at it and goes, almost. And you knew it, they knew it, but you tried to get it by, and that's one of those things where it's like, it sucks. I have been in a position where I've taken a look at a take and I thought I had it, and I went home and I threw it into the reader and I pulled it all up and they were soft. And I'm like, this sucks, but it's a bust.
Yeah.
And being okay with that, I think, is the part that's hard. Going back and doing it again, that's the part that's hard. But you just got to be okay with it. You got to be okay with the fact that you didn't get it, and it happens to everybody.
What about upside down hawk?
That doesn't happen to everybody.
You know what would make this shot better?
If it were right side up.
Nope, I can show you. Watch. It's just a little cropping thing.
Yeah.
There, better. Come on, I just did that for laughs. Come on, come on.
Wow.
It's just for fun.
Wow.
So honestly, that was literally a joke. Okay, so here's what would make this better, I think. This stuff is so distracting. I know that the handler needs those, but there's no reason those need to be in the shot.
Nope.
Right.
And what is that falling from the sky above? I
have no idea. It's
yeah, I would take that out.
Paint.
I would have taken that out and put a little dove in there.
So what is he doing?
A small dove would be nice. Or a baby, a small baby.
A baby.
Very small baby, though, 2 weeks old, something like that. Or like, a chipmunk or...
A chipmunk, yes.
You know, the thing is
that'll do it.
I like the idea that there's this, there's some things you could do with these, they're trained hawks, and you could get these in motion. You could do a whole series of that, but...
But this isn't it. This
ain't that one.
This isn't, like, if you were to take a look at it, it's not like, oh, the hawk is performing the such and such upside down maneuver. This isn't a maneuver. It's more of a gesture.
Yeah.
Really.
Watch. Boom.
That's just... However, if you go back to the original duck, there's something there. It's just cute. It's just...
You know what's driving me crazy about the duck is the green stuff in his mouth.
It's a rabbit duck.
It's not foamy. That's not foam.
It's green. It's zombie duck.
No, it's a string bean.
Duck.
Look how soft that background is. That's perfect, though.
It's nice. It's nice separation. There is something cute about this. But now
that'd be a good eye stock.
But the eyes are dead. Look, dead eyes. You can't see. He could be drunk. You don't know. You can't see his pupils. Okay.
I don't like that.
That it got clipped.
Yeah, either more or less.
Okay, so this is just get that out of here. This has got its issues. This has its issues. This has its issues. That has its issues. You have issues. No, you're not bad. It's not a bad photographer.
Yeah, the double rainbow shot, it's like rainbows are fine. Double rainbows are fine. They're really, really cool. I would just leave them to YouTube videos. Like, it's not, it's okay. People have seen it.
All right, let's go. We got to go. Hey, we're giving away stuff, right, Nancy?
Yes, this stuff right here.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go to that in a minute, but we're going to give away.
We're giving away We're giving away a book and a case for your iPad.
And a case for your iPad.
So we'll get to that in a second, though.
All right, so here we go. We've got looks like a shot there with some homes in the background.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Not the right time of day.
At the zoo, doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Not the right time of day. Not the right time of day.
Doesn't work.
That works.
That works.
That looks good.
You know what the difference between this shot and this shot is wrong time of day, much better time of day. You get longer exposures in darker light like this.
Yep.
The water looks much more interesting here. The only thing I think this thing is it needs some cleanup. You just got the random sticks and stuff sticking up here. Just, you know what? If you look at a really nice waterfall shot, it's clean. There may be a lot of rocks and stuff, but the overall shot is clean. And this has just got some little junk in here, just random leaf and a white spot here, and a stick and a stick and a stick. Just clean it up a little bit. And here's, look, another stick sticking up for no reason.
Nothing's wrong with editing them out. I mean, at least in my book.
Oh yeah, I would edit these out without a second thought.
I have to say, I have a little bit of a problem with the amount of rocks that there are comparable to. You spend a lot of work doing the waterfall.
Yeah.
That it seems like the rocks are the subject because of how many there are.
Well, what if we cropped it a lot more like maybe somewhere in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually works better.
Es mejor?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
All right.
Do a little tilt shift.
Tilt shift.
All right, and the last one.
Not bad.
It's okay.
I mean, it's, and again, I would go back. I'm doing a lot of moving water now. But I got to tell you, I'll be doing hundreds of them before I get to where they're really looking good.
Yeah.
That moving water one, if I were to recommend anything on that, I would just say when you're doing flowing water like that, as opposed to waterfall, get a lot lower, so that the water feels like it's coming at you.
That's right.
Rather than
I agree.
you're
I agree.
above it.
We saw this one before, didn't we? I remember this photo with the spider coming out of the
Yeah.
mouth. Yeah. So sorry, I don't know why we wound up with that one again, but
It's the.
let me see some. Yeah, we did this one before too. Many ponies.
Okay. Yeah, the Holy Festival. I was gonna say I've seen that.
We did this before.
Oh, so we're doing pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how we wound up with these images that we've done before. We have not done this one. I would have remembered that little bunny. I would have remembered that. Look at that little guy.
Bunny praying.
Get my rifle. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Who would kill a
Wow.
Who would? Come on. I don't kill little bunnies. They have to be larger than that. No, I do not. No, I'm totally kidding. I don't hunt. I don't hunt. That dog don't hunt.
I saw that coat you had.
Wow.
that was
Rabbit
RC.
fur.
That's RC's coat.
That's when he likes to play Snoop Dogg. He shows up like that with a
I
coat
do.
like that.
My rabbit coat.
With your rabbit coat.
Okay. Care to speak to this, RC?
It's unfortunately, it just feels a little unremarkable. It's just,
Yeah.
it's a sunset. It's not very good. This, on the other hand, at least looks interesting. It's like geometric shapes. It's fine. I could see this hanging on a house. It's a good textured.
I could see this hanging in Elvis's house
I think it's okay.
at Graceland. What about the bunny?
The bunny-
Come on. It's not even a pretty bunny. There's,
Important thing, it could be their pet.
yeah, I know. I'm sorry about your pet.
It's like a praying bunny.
It's a praying bunny.
It's a supermoon. That's actually a supermoon shot. It looks like it's a supermoon shot. It's
Yeah. Sorry.
and again,
Okay,
if
so-
we're not spending a lot of time talking about it, I
Yeah.
think it has a lot to do with the fact that there's just no. You have to have it. It has to have a compelling. There has to be a compelling subject.
Yeah,
to
look
it.
at this shot.
It's-
Seriously. This is nothing. It's a nothing shot. It's a. There was a plant outside my window and it had the shades drawn. Click.
Yeah, look
Yeah.
at the converging lines on the top there and the bottom.
Yeah.
Here's a good example. Here's something that I think, just to put context on something. If you see that dark part right around here, I don't know what this is, but if there were two people holding each other there, like standing holding each other kissing,
And a rabbit.
then you would be like, oh, you caught them in a moment, and then all of a sudden it would have a little bit
Some
more depth.
gesture,
Not
yeah.
great, but you could see that automatically adding an element and pulling out an element would show it. It just didn't show it right then and there.
Yeah.
So it's like it's
So-
almost
for,
but no.
For those people that are saying you're not telling us what's wrong with it, most of what's wrong with today's images it's not that they're composed badly. It's not that the light was bad. There was a couple that are composed bad. There's a couple. They're just very uninteresting shots. They're just shots that you go, hey, you shot that, and then what's this? Yep, that happens every night at that time.
But here's the thing:
Rabbit.
is I've taken sunset shots like that 30 years ago, and I've developed over the years, and you get better and better. So this could be the beginning of what it could be a 30-year career.
and that could be great. That
So
could be
and it's
great.
okay.
Right. So yeah, it's just not. Don't sell your camera.
I never
here.
had a rabbit though.
All right. Hey, we're gonna go to Nancy real quick while we're teeing up in the next one here. We're going to Nancy Massé, which is a Belgian name, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And just that's close to France.
Sure.
And
They speak French
Nancy,
there.
so we're giving away this plugin with On1 software. Book.
Yeah, this is the plugin with On1 software by Nicolesy. Nicole S.
Oh,
Young.
by Nicole Young, Nicolesy.
Yeah, look at
All
her.
right. Nicole's very good. We love Nicole.
Book machine, yeah. So if you use On1 software and you want to learn from the book,
There it is.
this is the book.
And the element case, is it really made of wood? Or?
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a wood case for your iPad? Okay.
From our friends over at Element Case.
Very nice.
I love Element Case stuff.
All right. Can't we give away something? Let's give away a copy of my Light It, Shoot It, Retouch It book. We'll give away that as well.
Wow.
So those three things, Nancy, let them rip, and we're going to get ready for the last couple of ones.
Okay, so I'll put all of this in a post and put it back on the live blog, but basically what you're gonna do is you're going to go to kelbytv.com/contest, fill out the form, and in the comment section, make sure that you put your shipping information, the prize you want, and your phone number for shipping, and we'll go in on Monday, and we'll pick a winner so people that watch the rebroadcast can also get a chance to get in on it.
Yep.
And that's what we're gonna do.
Well, Nancy, that was...
Shadow puppets.
Here we go. Here we go, and this will be easy because all the shots are essentially the same. Beach volleyball.
Grungy beach volleyball.
Grungy beach volleyball. Well, I mean, this one's good because it's a high angle, and that's a better way to shoot beach volleyball.
Right. That's not a good angle.
That's not good. And you know what? There's virtually no separation from the players and the background. And the players aren't wearing interesting outfits like they often are when they're playing beach volleyball.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're being told that we've already seen that one too.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Brad compiled these. He's sick, so we can blame it on Brad. We saw that one.
yeah. So it looks like we chewed through a lot of pictures.
Yeah, but that's because we saw some of these last. Yeah, we saw these.
Okay.
These are from last episode. It's lucky because we're out of time. It's already after 5 o'clock. But okay, so I do want to wrap up with this because I wish we'd had some better photos today, because what will happen is people will go, "Why did you only show bad photos?" You know what we show? What people turn in. And we started off, I think, with a pretty good one. I think this guy was pretty good. I think he was maybe the best of the day.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they're all well executed. The post-processing is good. You know, all the way around, that's, you know, he's probably the best of the day. And let's see, who else did we see that was okay? There was one good shot here. But there was one good shot here. So you know what? So let me ask you this. I don't want to be mean about this, but so when someone sends 5 shots in and one of them's good, what does that mean, Joel?
Well, it means they're off to a good start. It's like playing guitar, right? You have to do it over and over and over again until your fingers are bleeding. And I think today what most people don't understand is that to get good at photography or anything, it's hard work. There's no shortcut. And so we all have made those bad pictures at some point, and you have to work your way up to where you understand what a good photo is.
Here's another one.
That's a great shot.
Yeah.
One really good photo.
That's a great shot. And the thing that I would leave you with, if I had a message for you guys, what I would say is, if you're looking at this and in the middle of all of that stuff, you find one, that was a wonderful shot.
One really good shot.
If you were the person that submitted this,
Surrounded by that.
the best thing that I would do is I would just turn around and I would just go, you know what? This is my shot. This is my new start. You know, take a look at, whenever you look at any kind of critique, it's not saying of who you are as a photographer, it's not saying who you are as a person, but what it's saying is, based on what you've executed, this is where you hit the mark and this is where you didn't hit the mark. So where you did hit the mark, grab that, hold that, and go, this is my new start. Get everything else out, and then go, I'm only from here on in going to show these 2 images, or this one image. And then my new target becomes shooting so that all of the stuff that I build around it fits these images. So look at it that way, rather than go, well, only one of them was good. One of them is your start. That's a good place to be.
You know what? If there's one thing that I would think out of everything that was said today, I'm going to give it to Joel, because I think is the most important. Is you want to shoot wildlife, you need to go and study wildlife photographers.
The best.
And the best ones, and figure out what is it that made this shot so great. What is it about their shot that and then look at yours and go, and don't do what, what's his name tried to do, either Jock tried to do earlier, and go, oh, well, sure, you shot a hippo in Africa, and I don't have the money to go to Africa. Don't pull that, because people make incredible wildlife shots in their own town every single day all over the world. It might be more captivating to see, like Rick Salmon's got an amazing shot of that looks like the Lion King, you know, the sun in Africa and these animals are going by and all. But you know what? That's one shot. There are a million other shots out there that are fantastic. You really need to go and find out what genre do I want to shoot. Again, to Joel, focus on that. Shoot that to death. Get really, really good at that. Because you know what? It's really, really hard to get good at everything.
The other thing, too, is if you think about this, like when I was in school, I was studying Ansel Adams and, you know, the grand landscape, black and white. And people just tell me, well, you know, Ansel's already done it, right? He was the best. How could you, you know, repeat that or even do better than that? The thing is, today we have more tools to create than we ever have had in the history of mankind. And so if you go shoot a sunset, do it with all the tools you have today and do it better than anyone's ever done it before and make it more interesting than anyone's ever done it. That's where you have to go. We can't take a picture of a sunset that looked like something that was photographed 10 years ago. We're tired of it. You have to create new imagery. And so that's my goal. Every time I'm out creating, I think, what can I do today that's going to take my imagery to a level where it has not been done before?
Now, for those of you who did street shooting, right? There was a lot of you guys that actually submitted a lot of street pictures. What I would do, the message to leave you with is go to YouTube, and YouTube, do a search for Bresson, Bresson, space Just Plain Love. Just Plain Love is probably one of the best documentaries that's ever been done on Bresson. It's Bresson talking to you about street photography.
Bresson on Bresson.
It's Bresson on Bresson, and it's one of those things where it's like it really kind of does give you a good look into the ethos of portrait, you know, street work and looking at all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
So
Decisive
it's a great piece.
All right. Joel, where can people go learn more about you and your work?
JoelGrimes.com.
That's so easy. You should get that domain. It'd be great. All right. Don't forget, next Tuesday, 7:30 to 9 o'clock. There it is, the Napathon. 90 jam-packed minutes of Photoshop tips. We are going to, all of us, myself, Corey, Matt, RC, the whole gang, and Pete, Pistol Pack and Pete, are going to pull together some of our very, very favorite stuff, present it all in one big show. And of course, the idea is to introduce people to NAP and what we do and all kinds of stuff. We have a huge, big announcement that will be very impactful when we have that show as well. But the focus of the show is how many freaking tips can we shove in one show. So we hope you'll join us. We're giving away a NAP membership every single minute.
Bring a friend.
Bring a friend. Please invite your friends. And that is next Tuesday night. And they can go to where?
PhotoshopUser.com/webcast.
Webcast. There we go. We will see you guys next week. Joel, thank you very much
Thank
for being on the show.
you.
You did a great job. In fact, you're the only person that had anything worthwhile to say. RC and I are idiots. No, but
Poor rabbit.
you did very, very, very good. I was mean to the rabbit, but I think that rabbit had it coming. Look at his eyes. You can tell he's killed other animals. Hey, we will see you guys.
He was begging for mercy.
We'll see you guys next week, right here in the Grip. Thanks, Nance.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, very quiet studio audience.
This week's episode of The Grid is sponsored by MPix. Shoot today, upload tonight, we ship tomorrow. Manfrotto, imagine more. All One Software, focused on photography. Adorama, more than a camera store. Tiffin, helping create the world's greatest images. Peach Pit Press, publishers of technology books, ebooks, and videos for creative people. Epson, exceed your vision. Expo Imaging, Rogue Flash Benders for speedlight enthusiasts. Nix Software, photography first. And B&H Photo, the professional source.